All right, so for this particular activity, you're going to highlight. So first of all, we're making sure that all of our data has percent signs at the end. So we have cleaned up our data. We don't have any missing percent signs. We also spent a half second and made sure our titles are correct across the top of G, H, and I. So please make sure that your titles are correct for G, H, and I. Okay, now highlight, click and highlight, starting at B1 and drag all the way down to I-52. So we are going to make a scatter plot for all 8 columns. Once you let go of it, you can either do Insert Chart or hit the Insert Chart button. And it may take a few moments, but then a graph is going to show up. The one that showed up is not what we want. So go on the right-hand side where it has the chart editor.
How did you do the highlight thing? Because I just messed mine all up.
Well, hit Control-Z when you mess up until you get to the point where it's good. I just click and drag.
So I just put the box.
Click on B1. Yep, and then
I just like moving the column.
not at the very, very top, click where it says poverty rate, 2019.
Yeah, I did that, and then like a whole bunch of poverty rates like just showed up here.
Okay, that's because you dragged on. So when you click, don't click on the outside of the box. There you go. And then this button.
I thought
No, that's an insert comment. It's that one, insert chart. You just grab the edge of the box. You're welcome. Okay, so then click on the chart type. So instead of having a column chart, we are going to change this to a scatter chart.
I like the scatter charts.
Now you should look and make sure first that all of your data looks good. So if you've got a row of dots across the bottom, you've probably missed a percent sign somewhere along the way. As we look down this side, on the chart editor side, we are going to make sure that we are putting, click on the box that says use row 1 as headers. And then unclick the box that says use column B as labels. Okay, next. Nothing else to fix there. Go to Customize. When you click on this, if you wanted to, we're not going to play with that. But let's look at Chart and Axis Titles. You are going to receive a grade for making a title, so make sure you put a title for this chart. What are we comparing on this chart? And poverty rate and obesity. So a great title would be Poverty and Obesity Rates Across America. Then make sure you do a subtitle of, or a horizontal axis title. The horizontal axis is the poverty rates. And the vertical axis title is the obesity rates, or the percentages. You need to do both. The horizontal one, those are actually the different states. Yep, they're the different states. Yep. Percent. Yep. Then go to series. This is kind of important. Series, we're going to click on trend line. And this is where you get the line of best fit. So you're going to see the trend lines are drawn in. And then I want you also to go down and put the label as none, but click on show R squared. The R squared is the correlation coefficient. It switches over to custom. So what is a correlation coefficient? So let's look at a couple of the correlation coefficients. So you can see with the poverty rate that it is 0.0008. Correlation coefficients are going to be somewhere between 0 and 1. If it's 0, the data doesn't match the line. If it's 1, the data does match the line. So it's a measure of how close to the line the data is, or how good of a use of an average it is. And so we can see from these R values that our data doesn't really correspond with the lines. The lines are there, but because of these R values, the data isn't close to the line to make it a good source of data. And that's what this R squared tells us. And that's perfectly fine. If you want to tweak the legend, you may. The horizontal axis, the vertical axis, grid lines and ticks. You don't need to do any of those, but if you want to tweak it, you may. The last piece. So once you have it all taken care of the way you like it, make it big enough so you can read everything. There are 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner of the chart. You can see it will allow you to download. Please either choose the PNG or the PDF. I don't care which one of those two. Again, make sure you have a title for your chart, vertical axis and horizontal axis have all been labeled. And then, once you've downloaded it, submit it in Canvas.